Hey T-Bone, do you know what pass interference is?
I think I got a pretty good idea. Do you know what pass interference is?
Well, I thought I knew what pass interference is until I watched this football game. And now I'm not sure. What up, everybody? It's the Rottweiler Patriots. I'm Vegas.
And I'm T-Bone.
And welcome, everybody, to our New England Patriots Week 2 recap. This is where we are going to discuss the New England Patriots Week 2 matchup against the Seattle Seahawks. The Patriots fall to the Seahawks by a score of 23-20 after overtime. A tough loss for the Patriots in a tight game with its fair share of controversy, I would add. But we'll talk about that in a minute. First, we'll go over how this game went. New England's first drive, 3 plays, and they punt the ball away, go 3 and out. Seattle punts the ball on their drive. 6 plays, only netted 7 yards. Next drive, Patriots score a touchdown. Jalen Polk with his first career touchdown. Grab Brissett finds him in the end zone. The rookie gets one on the board, and he gifted the ball to his dad because it was his dad's birthday. So gotta love that. Love the drive from New England. Move the ball really well. Seattle responds in kind with a touchdown of their own. 4 plays, and DK Metcalf burns the secondary after Kyle Duggar and Christian Gonzalez have a communication. After the game, it seems that Duggar was responsible for the mistake, but a blown coverage leads to a free touchdown for Seattle. Patriots able to get a long drive, next drive, and kick a field goal, which that drive is one of the controversial drives. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but long story short, that should say touchdown, not field goal. Appreciate the refs. Then you have Seattle's next drive, which they drove down the field and got a touchdown, and that's another point of controversy in this game. That should say field goal, not touchdown. So, yeah, thanks a lot, refs. Patriots able to respond with a field goal. Teams then go 3 and out each, exchange punts, and Seattle ends the half with a field goal to go into the half with a 17-13 lead. Coming out of the half, the Seattle Seahawks had a nice drive into New England Patriots territory, but the defense gets a stop on 4th down and forces a turnover on downs. The offense then goes 3 and out. And then it's just 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. For both teams, each team has 2 3 and outs. Seattle eventually punts it. New England gets a drive where they go 11 plays, 66 yards, down the field, into the end zone for a touchdown. Ramondre Stevenson, at the birth of the 4th quarter, gives the Patriots a 20-17 lead. Seahawks next drive, they punt the ball away. Then the Patriots get the ball back, drive down the field. Gibson with a huge run, and we thought surely this is going to be the game. Jacoby Brissett takes a bad sack, and it's really his one bad play of the game was taking that sack. You just got to get the ball thrown away. Makes it a 48-yard field goal, which the Seahawks then block. So instead of New England being up 23-17, it's still a 20-3 game. And the Seahawks' very next drive, they're able to go down, kick a field goal, tie the game, and force overtime. Patriots would get the ball with not a lot of time left, would go 3 and out, put the ball away, and then the Seahawks kneel it out to take us to overtime. Patriots first drive, go 3 and out, have to punt the ball away. Seahawks come back the other way with a field goal, and that's point of controversy number 3. Now, we're going to talk about how the New England Patriots played in this game, how the Seattle Seahawks played in this game, all of that. We will get into that, but first, I want to address my issues with the officiating in this game. Because the officials do not know what pass interference is at all. You look at, I talk about the Patriots' first field goal drive. During the drive, in the red zone, Jacoby Brissett looks to throw the ball in the end zone to Ramondre Stevenson. This was I think first down, but regardless, he throws the ball to Stevenson in the end zone. The cornerback does not turn around to look back at the ball, and then fills up Ramondre Stevenson more than Deshaun Watson fills up a masseuse. Blatant pass interference. Blatant pass interference. Prevents Stevenson from making a play on a ball that he could have caught. Whistle swallowed, flag stay in the pocket. Nothing. Instead of first and goal on the 1 yard line, which the Patriots would have 100% scored a touchdown on because of their run game, you now have second and long. And, you know, getting yards in the NFL is hard, especially in the red zone. Seahawks hold them to a field goal. Cool, 3 points on the board. Should be 7. It should be now 14-7 New England at this point. Instead it's 10-7. Very next drive for Seattle. Third down and 5. Seahawks in the red zone. Smith passes it, looking for Tyler Lockett in the end zone. Except the ball isn't in the end zone, it's out of bounds, and very clearly not catchable. Marco Wilson is covering Tyler Lockett. Marco Wilson, when the ball is thrown, turns back and looks towards the ball. Tyler Lockett grabs Marco Wilson. Marco Wilson grabs him back in response. So it's 50-50, both guys grabbing. Lockett initiates the contact. The ball isn't remotely close to catchable. 20, flag flies. Set up fourth down. Seattle's got to kick a field goal. First and goal at the 1. They score. That's back-to-back 4-point swings in a really close ball game, dictated by the officials not knowing how to call pass interference. If not even pulling an Odell out can result in a catch with no contact on a thrown ball, with you also as the receiver initiating the contact with the defender, if that's pass interference, I don't know what pass interference is. It's not possible to catch the ball, and you initiated the contact, and the defender fought back, because when you do that, he has the right to do that. It's 50-50. As opposed to, on the other end, defender does not look back. Lots of contact on Ramondre Stevenson. Blatant pass interference. Ball is very catchable. Actually, a pretty good throw from Brissett. Nothing. So far we have no pass interference called on obvious pass interference called on obviously not pass interference. So right now we're kind of in the inverse, and that would carry over into overtime. The Seattle Seahawks overtime drive. Geno Smith, again looking for Tyler Lockett. This time Jonathan Jones is on him. Jonathan Jones makes an absolutely brilliant defensive play. One of the plays of the game, quite frankly. It would have been if the referee did not throw a penalty for pass interference. Jones made a clean play on the ball and knocked it away. Even Tyler Lockett himself said it wasn't a penalty at all. If the receiver says not pass interference, then it's definitely not pass interference. Excellent play by Jonathan Jones. Referee says, here's free 20 yards for Seattle. So instead of 2nd and 10 in New England territory and a momentum-generating play for the defense because of a great play by Jonathan Jones, 1st and 10 in New England territory, and all you need is a field goal to win it. Regardless of whatever mistakes New England made in this game, which we'll talk about in a little bit, the referees most certainly had an effect on the outcome of this game and to an extent dictated the outcome of this game. You're talking about 2 4-point swings on back-to-back drives in what ended up being a tie game after regulation, and then a terrible, insanely awful pass interference call in overtime that even the receiver said was not pass interference at all. That dictates the game. That affects the outcome of the game. And it's not acceptable. And you have to fix this. Because, pass interference is just like the catch. We don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I watched this game. I don't know what pass interference is anymore. I thought I had a pretty good idea until I watched this game. What are we doing? This is a close game. This will inevitably have playoff implications. Because New England is a team that so far has impressed me with the way they've started. They've started how I've hoped they would. They've played better than we've expected, and this is a team that is capable of winning enough games to make the wild card round. Is it going to be difficult? Yes. We have a really difficult schedule. We're going to play a lot of good teams. But we now have played 2 very, very good football teams, beaten one of them, and played the other one to within an inch, and probably would have won it if it not for 1 or 2 little mistakes and 3 just genuinely awful calls by the refs. So I'm happy, generally, with the New England Patriots. And I think this is a team in a position to vie for a wild card spot right now. Again, it's going to be tough. We have a tough schedule. But we've played clean and intelligent football, hard-nosed football. We've played well against good and well-coached football teams. And if it comes down to a game, just like it did in 2022, we were 1 game off the wild card. And there were 3 back-to-back games. The Vikings game, then the Raiders game, then the Bengals game, where major officiating mistakes essentially cost us victory.
Incorrect.
And cost us a playoff spot. Okay, what am I incorrect about? Tell me which.
I want to say the Raiders game.
No! That's the one where the tying touchdown was out of bounds!
Oh, yeah, no, that wasn't bounds. That was in bounds.
What are you talking about that was in bounds? It was so clearly out of bounds, and everyone with a brain has already agreed to that. I might need to show you that play after this. That was very obviously out of bounds. You're just trying to get a rise out of me, and I already have a rise, because I'm mad, because that is terrible officiating that affects the outcome of games, and when you have a team like New England, who's a fringe wild card team based off my estimations right now, those calls matter, and we were burned 2 years ago. We should have been in the playoffs in 2022. We were not, because the referees screwed us against Minnesota, they screwed us against Las Vegas, and they screwed us against Cincinnati. We win one of those games, we're in the 2022 playoffs. So excuse me for being up in arms about how this affects things, when it does have implications. It does have implications, even though it's only week 2. Even the week 2 games matter. Think about Chicago 2022. Think about what happened in that game. That's a game we should have won. That was an early season game. We win that game, we're in the playoffs. Also, okay, the Vikings game was was probably the most egregious one. We had a touchdown stolen from us because the referees are incompetent, and then they were given a free touchdown because the referees don't know how to spot a really, 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 really obvious holding penalty.
You guys went 7-10. Calm down.
We were 8-9.
Oh God, 8-9.
Had we won one of those 3 games, we were in the playoffs.
They were, dude, dog. There were plenty of people in front of you. Calm down.
And we still would have made the wild card.
No, you wouldn't have.
Yes, we would have. It's about the tiebreakers. We held the tiebreakers we needed to make the wild card. We just had to have the record.
Vegas, are you okay? You seem a little up in arms.
I am up in arms because what happened today was not okay from the refs. It just wasn't. And it has implications. You have a team that is a fringe playoff team, like New England. I want to make the playoffs. I think that's good for our team. I think we can make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And these are the kind of games where we can win, where we have to win, and when we're not given a fair shot to win them, that's BS, and I'm gonna call it out when I see it. Just like we call it out with Kansas City every time it happens with them. Every other time we see it, we call it out. When it's my own team, I'm especially going to call it out because it affects me. It affects me on an emotional level because I'm attached to the New England Patriots. I care about the Patriots and their well-being, and when they get screwed, I feel like I've gotten screwed. And I know you're the same way with Carolina. You're just a little more jaded because things aren't going as well for Carolina. Which, if you want to hear our thoughts on that, check out tomorrow's video. Should be out around 4 p.m. I know today's was a bit late. Things did not go as planned yesterday and today, but it made a deal eventually. But it has an effect, and you know it has an effect, and you know what these calls do to you when it really hurts your team like this. And
yeah, I remember the Green Bay game. The Green Bay game got me riled up.
Yeah, exactly. You understand. And when it has genuine playoff implications, it's ridiculous. They have to get this right. They just have to. It's insane. So, I probably went on a little longer than I wanted to about that topic, but now let's talk about how the New England Patriots actually played this week. Regardless of the fact that we lost this football game, I'm very, very proud of the New England Patriots. I thought the offense looked better this week. Gibson came alive, had a really big run that should have helped seal the game. Obviously, the one negative play from Brissett, the sack, which knocked back the field goal, which likely contributed to it being blocked. That's negative. Okay, 2 negative plays in this game that killed us. The sack, next play, field goal. That's it. Those are the 2 plays that truly hurt the Patriots. Every other play in this game, we played extremely clean and extremely intelligent football. And I'm very, very proud of the way our offense looked. Obviously, the passing game, not as high of a passing as you want, but the entire NFL is also having the same issue. Unless you're New Orleans or Tampa Bay, it looks like. But passing is just down in general in the NFL. That is true. And we're not a pass-first team, we're a run-first team, and we understand that. Regardless, we still hit Henry 8 times, 109 yards. He had an excellent game. Jalen Polk gets his first career touchdown. Congratulations to the rookie. He's looked solid so far. Obviously not a lot of targets, but again, we're not a pass-first team, and it's when we get... The offensive line has been very, very good at run blocking. They've had a rough time in pass protection. And Brissett's handled it very admirably. No bad throws, no interceptions so far. Between the 2 games, had only 1 throw under pressure where I thought, oh, that could have been picked, and Henry, that was against Cincinnati, and Henry basically ripped it away from the defender. It was incomplete, but he did save a pick. Other than that, Brissett's been clean. He's navigated tight pockets well. I'll tell you right now, Drake May would have 3 times the sacks. if he was in there. Everyone's like, oh, Drake May, Drake May, Drake. It's like, Drake May. Brissett's at least giving you a chance to get positive yards on the plate. May's going to take the sack because May can't navigate a pocket. May steps into pressure. He doesn't have good footwork. Everyone sees, oh, big arm. Yeah, big arm, good. You want to know what bad? Inability to navigate pocket, stepping into pressure, and having no actual footwork. And when I watch this team and watch what I see, that stuff matters, and it matters way more than people give credit for. And it's annoying how a lot of people aren't able to see that, and it's like, we're not in these games if May's starting. Like, I'm sorry, we're not. And it's not a knock on May, he's a rookie who came in with a lot of issues. I talked about these issues. It's why I didn't want to draft him to begin with. Now, obviously, we've drafted him, and I see what upside he has, but we have to develop him properly. We can't just throw him in there when he's not ready, and he isn't ready. He just isn't. Watch the third preseason game tape. He's not ready. He created so much pressure that was not necessary at all. So, Brissett, very clean. Not a big playmaker, the way May can be. But Brissett isn't going to make a game-killing mistake, and when you are the New England Patriots and you play the type of football you do, not making the game-killing mistake matters more than the big play. Especially when, with a rookie like May, and the way rookies have struggled, the game-killing mistake is more likely than the big play. And he's more likely to get sacked because he can't navigate a pocket. That also takes away other opportunities that people don't even think about. That's another factor in the equation. So, for me, Brissett's the right move right now. I love what I'm seeing from him. I'm perfectly fine to ride him the whole season, honestly. He has looked solid. He looked better this week than he did last week. I think he's going to keep getting better, especially as he gets more comfortable, especially as we start to develop a little more of an offensive identity. And as we start to open things up a little more and really figure out how to get the best out of the receivers we have. Because Polk's been good, Henry's been good, Hooper has been sneaky good. Demario Douglas, not a lot of targets, but I mean, he's been open and he's got the game-breaking speed that we need. And once Kendrick Bourne comes back, you know, there's stuff to work with there. So the offense ran the ball really, really well. Offensive line in the running game, excellent job, beautiful job, love it. They need to work on their pass protection. That has to be the focus. Because one of the issues of the passing game, the big issue with the passing game, is Brissett's under pressure a lot. He navigates it well, but it's still tough to play under that kind of pressure. Defensively, I really liked what I saw. Obviously, we struggled with the passing game. We made our life unnecessarily difficult sometimes in the passing game, especially you talk about the DK Metcalf touchdown in the first, and how that was just a dumb mistake on a miscommunication. And, you know, Kyle Duggar's got to have that play. And generally, they were passing it well. I have to give Gino lots of credit. I thought he played very well. I thought he played very intelligently. Didn't make any mistakes, didn't turn the ball over, made the right reads, found his man. And that's winning football. Not a massive playmaker, but he doesn't make mistakes, he makes the right reads, and he finds his man. And he delivers to him accurately. He's found his winning formula, and he's executing it at a high level. And the Seattle Seahawks are an extremely well-coached football team. Extremely well-coached football team. Mike McDonald was an excellent hire. And I fully commend Seattle for finding him and making him a head coach, because I was impressed by what I saw from the Seattle Seahawks on both sides of the ball. They adjusted very, very well. They made life difficult for New England. They had an effective passing attack. Not a lot of deep plays, but they were killing us underneath. And you know, one of the things that made us successful against Cincinnati last week is we forced Cincinnati to throw underneath, and then we were on them like that. Seattle did a better job circumventing that. They still were forced a lot to the underneath passes, but they made it so that it was harder for us to be on them as quickly. And it created more yards, it created more opportunities for them. And they themselves missed a couple of chances. You talk about that 4th and 1 that they had early in the second half, they could have gone up by 2 scores. Defense with a huge stop, huge credit to the defense. But that was a missed opportunity for Seattle on a bad play call. They could have executed better. So, this game was really fun to watch for me because it was a lot of extremely intelligent football from both sides. The coaching was excellent. And it was just a back and forth. We're going to adjust, a little adjustment, little adjustment, little adjustment, little adjustment. It unlocks this, it stops this. Oh, boom, 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 boom. Henry had a big first half. Seattle adjusts really, really well. Oh, Henry's not working anymore. Okay, we're going to bump it to Stevenson. He's going to start unlocking things. Gibson's going to start doing things. Seattle has to adjust to that. So, and it culminated with a really big 3rd and 1 stop for Seattle in overtime. They gave them the ball a chance to win. So it was a really, really intelligent football game. It came down to a couple of mistakes for New England. It's always so tough when you play a really clean and really beautiful game of football, and 1 or 2 little mistakes hurts you as much as they do here. But that's what happens when you're playing a really good and a really well-coached team in Seattle. The defenses came alive in the second half. You watch the first half, like, oh, it's going to be a high-scoring game. Defense came alive in the second half. Both teams. I was just impressed by how good the football was on both sides of the ball for both teams. It was a lot of fun to watch. It was fun to see good minds, great minds, thinking against each other. And in the end, Seattle won the game. I thought New England outplayed Seattle. I thought New England deserved to win the game. Obviously, we can't be making the mistakes that we made when they happened, but you also can't forget about what the refs did either. So, overall, though, I'm very happy with the New England Patriots. I'm very happy with the way they have played. And I think that this football team is absolutely headed in the right direction. And I think that they are capable of working their way into the playoffs. It's going to be tough. It always is. It's never, ever, ever easy. But they've got the tools that they need to be successful. And I'm proud of their performance today, regardless of the result. T-Bone, I know I went on for quite a bit there, but I want to get your thoughts on the Patriots this week.
Too long. You went on for too long.
There was a lot to talk about, to be fair.
Jacoby Brissett is the right call. He plays it safe, and there's nothing wrong with playing it safe. Rather play it safe.
It's not even playing it safe. It's more doing his job. He does his job.
He does it well.
Yeah. So that's all I got. You guys are changing up defensively well. You're smartly coached.
Yeah. So I look at New England. I see a very good defense, and
when you guys won't make the playoffs, that's what I'll say. You guys won't make the playoffs.
You just want me to suffer with you. You want someone to suffer with.
No, I'm just telling you what's going to happen.
I'm allowed to be hopeful, and I'm allowed to be optimistic based off of what I've seen so far. We've played 2 very good football teams. We beat one of them. We outplayed the other, played it close, lost in OT.
And I'm here to keep you honest and to keep you grounded.
Yeah, there's no snapping back to reality. Hey, listen, man. At least I'm not a Steelers fan, okay?
What do you mean?
We gotta hear every time the Steelers gain a yard on offense. Steelers going on a Super Bowl! So, at least I'm not a Steelers fan. Okay? Now, taking a look at next week versus the Jets, Thursday Night Football. That's going to be a tough game. The Jets have Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson, and Breece Hall. It's a short week. The keys to beating the Jets, I fully expect Christian Gonzalez to deal with Garrett Wilson. So I'm actually not as concerned with him. If Gonzo struggles with Wilson, that's a problem. But last time we played the Jets with Gonzo locked down Wilson. No problemo. Breece Hall is going to be the thing that we have to stop most. If we can stop Breece Hall, they're going to have a tough time doing anything on the offensive side of the ball. Because, again, I don't think Wilson's going to be that much of a factor because we have Christian Gonzalez, and I don't think that they'll be able to do anything if we stop Breece. I don't trust their other receivers, and I trust our defense to make the plays that they have to make. So if we stop Breece Hall, I think we'll have a lot of success. Now you look at the offense. What does the offense have to do? Keep running the football. This is the Jets team that got absolutely nuked by San Francisco, by the backup of San Francisco in the run game. San Francisco obviously has a good offensive line, but the Patriots have a good offensive line in the run game. The run blocking from New England has been impressive. The running in general from New England has been impressive. 185 rushing yards against Seattle. I think 170 against Cincinnati. Those are insane numbers. It's 355 rushing yards through 2 weeks. If we can run the football against the Jets team and run it well, we're going to torch them the way San Francisco did. Obviously not to the same extent as San Francisco, especially since they will probably focus more on the run, because San Francisco has a better passing attack than us, so they'll have an easier time stopping the run on us. But if we can get the run game going, the Jets have really struggled with that. And I think we can. So if we can do those things, I think we beat the Jets. And I like our chances against the Jets. I think we're going to make Rodgers uncomfortable in the pocket because Keon White's been an absolute menace. I think Garrett Wilson's going to have a tough time getting open. And I think that running the football is going to be a winning formula for us. So we do that, I feel good about it. T-Bone, your thoughts?
My thoughts? You want my thoughts? I think the Jets are going to beat you. Those are my thoughts. Going to beat you handedly.
Handedly?
Handedly. Take it to the bank. Handedly. That's all I gotta say.
You're just being a hater.
You've said everything else that's needed to be said. I'm just saying the facts.
Well, I mean, you are a Panthers fan, so you just want everyone else to suffer like you have, so...
I already used that line.
Yeah, and it's still true. It still applies here.
No, the Jets are just better by a good bit.
I would not say by a good bit. I think the Jets have a better offense than us. They do not have a better defense than us.
That's not true at all. The Jets' defense is wild.
The Jets do not have a better defense than us. I will stand my ground on that.
Okay, well, then you can stand on...
You have one of the best pass rushers in the NFL in Keon White, one of the best corners in the NFL in Christian Gonzalez.
I don't even know who Keon White is. No one here knows who Keon White is. How many Pro Bowls? How many All-Pros, huh?
He's in his second year, and he already has 4 sacks in 2 games and is on pace for 34 on the season.
Don't ever use week 1, week 2 pace. That's how you get quarterbacks throwing for 8,000 yards and 800 touchdowns.
I know, but Keon White has dominated so far.
You're so right, he has dominated. He really earns all of the glazing you give him.
T-Bone, I see him being talked about on national media. He's really shown up really, really well.
Has he? Has he shown up for the Glaze Fest?
He is one of
Glaze.
He's not the most actually in the NFL because Aiden Hutchinson just went off, but he's right up there.
Krispy Kreme.
And you talk about every other part of the defense is just really good. So I think we have a better defense than the Jets. Jets better offense, Patriots better defense. It'll be a close game, especially short week. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Aaron Rodgers is going to resurrect 21 Aaron Rodgers, where he's
Aaron Rodgers. We almost beat Aaron Rodgers in 2022 with rookie Bailey Zappi making his first appearance after Brian Hoyer got a concussion.
Is he still on the squad or no?
No, Zappi was cut.
That's so interesting. He's bad.
Yeah, it is interesting. We almost beat Aaron Rodgers with that.
That's cool. That's hip.
It was an overtime loss to the Packers. That game hurt too. Well, it's me saying we have a better football team than I think you're giving us credit for. Again, we've outplayed two very good football teams so far, and we're 1-1 right now.
When you finally decide to not make the playoffs, I'll drink a nice cold glass of I told you so.
God forbid I have hope. I know all has been snuffed out of you, but God forbid I have hope. Speaking of hope, I really do hope that you all enjoyed this video. Please be sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. We would love to hear what you all have to say. And that is going to do it for us today. Thank you all so very much for watching. Please be sure to hit the like button. Please be sure to subscribe. And we will see you all in the next video.